holiday. Am I crazy? Yes, and yes. But it's got lots of the things you look for in a quick weekend break. There's year-long sunshine, Mediterranean beaches, nightlife, great food, low-cost flights, and then, of course, there's the politics.
I like to visit Tel Aviv because it makes me think. Israel is undeniably a contentious country, and Tel Aviv is a city full of ideas and arguments at the heart of it.
There were 2 attacks in Tel Aviv in 2006, killing 9 people and injuring about 79. The Foreign Office states that most trips to Israel are now trouble-free, making a trip there probably as safe as a trip to, say, London. But still, why would you come here on holiday? Well, for starters, there's fantastic architecture. Tel Aviv is known as the White City thanks to its 4,000 or so modernist buildings. The catch-all term here is Bauhaus, which was a school of art and design in Germany in the 1920s and 30s. The style was brought here by Jewish people fleeing the Nazis. Swing by the Bauhaus Centre and join a fascinating tour for a £5.
Now we will see a building which looks like a ship.
Oh, this one here?
Yes, but you know, many people criticized it because they said that round line is not functional.
Ah, yes, I suppose it is. It's quite difficult to hang things on the wall.
This building that is a hotel was a very famous cinema, and now it's a very lovely, nice hotel.
It's actually my hotel. It costs £60 a night, which frankly is a bargain for a night spent in a world-famous design classic.
Is this Bauhaus?
This one?
Yes.
It's a shelter.
Well, it looks functional. It's a what? This is a bomb shelter?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. In each area in Tel Aviv you have a shelter.
Wow.
In this place we
And it's
need
still
it.
ready to go?
Yes. Yes, of course.
Do you see what I mean? A town with operational bomb shelters gives you plenty to think about. But the locals don't seem bothered by the threat of danger, and the Sabbath sees them strolling by the sea on this lovely wavy boardwalk. Now, that's not the world's greatest beach, but it's still the Mediterranean out there, and the outdoor disco is very, very special. A relaxed wander along the beach takes you to ancient Jaffa, where you find Jews, Arabs and Christians cohabiting peacefully. Tel Aviv's sister city is full of surprises.
Just round the corner here is a place where you can apparently try some delicious Israeli wine. Who knew?
I'm visiting the Great Man Wine and Spirit Centre, and its founder, Chaim Gann, is an enthusiast for Israeli wine and the area.
15 years ago we had 12 wineries. Today we've got 250 wineries.
Crikey, really?
Oh, yeah.
I probably ought to try one then, just to see.
Yeah, you should.
What sort of thing, you know, just in order that I know what I'm talking about.
The wine tasting doesn't happen every Saturday, so it's worth contacting the Great Man in advance. But for about £8 you can sample as many wines as you like.
Right, what's next?
This is jammy.
Yes, it's very jammy.
Like jammy and fruity.
I'm feeling pretty jammy at the moment. This job, it's good.
And with wine comes conversation.
Right now we are in the center of the second oldest city in the world. Right now in Old Jaffa.
This is the second oldest
city in the world.
This is, for me, has always been one of the best bits of Tel Aviv, coming here. And it's like, it's where everybody's cohabiting.
You can go here outside, you can see a mosque, you can see a synagogue, and you can see a church touching the same walls, actually.
I like to travel to have my mind changed, and the almost aggressive friendliness of Israelis means that you're exchanging opinions faster than you can change your pounds into shekels. You won't find it too difficult to find a local who wants to engage you in intense discussion, but I'm having dinner with an old friend, Aviv Geffen. He's an Israeli rock star who's openly critical of his government's policy on Palestine.
I think people must come to Israel, really.
You don't think it's a good idea for people to boycott Israel in order to show their disapproval of the occupation?
No, because it's full of ideas and politics and historical places. This is the place, really.
Tel Aviv is also a great place for going out in.
But when you come to Tel Aviv, you need to go to Florentine area, to Shenkin Street, and that's it. That's it.
We're in Florentine, an up-and-coming hipster neighbourhood in downtown Tel Aviv, but it doesn't get going until 11.
So is Tel Aviv the sort of place where you go from bar to bar? You don't stay in one place for the whole night?
Always, in a move.
There's a wide variety of nighteries to visit, including this hippie hangout / curry house / folk cafe. Next up, some good old-fashioned punk rock and roll. This is a very friendly town. And another bar. If I'm dancing, I must have been drinking. We're ending the evening in a classic bistro. So by now you should have the impression that Tel Aviv is a great town for eating and drinking in. But boozing has hidden costs.
You know, there's something particularly special about shopping in the flea market on a Sunday afternoon with a hangover. But this is a really, really good flea market in Jaffa. There's some sort of straightforward tat, then there's like weird tat, which is good. But then, because this is a 20th century city with an enthusiasm for design, around the corners there is actually some very, very fancy 20th century artifacts and furniture.
Oh, but I'm sick in my stomach and in my head. I have to seek medical advice from Jaffa's resident Dr. Feelgood, Dr. Shakshuka.
So what's this?
This is shakshuka.
Shakshuka. And is it a good cure for a hangover?
Excellent.
Shakshuka contains oil, tomatoes, eggs, peppers, and pleasure.
And is it a very Israeli dish or is it an Arabic dish?
It's from Libya.
Ah, it's a Libyan dish. So it's a very low calorie dish this as well then, I'm
Very low, like 0 calories.
Yeah.
This worthy competitor to the fry-up costs less than a fiver. It renders me speechless.
There are perhaps political reasons for not visiting Israel, but I've found that every time I've come here, it's increased my understanding of the area and the people who live here. And that's not to mention the beaches, the culture, the architecture, the nightlife, and the food.